You may have heard the expression, money doesn't grow on trees. Well, it's wrong. Money does grow on trees. Let me show you. If you say, I don't want to grow fruit commercially, I just want to have one fruit tree, I'll get to it. You have to realize you're not growing your fruit trees like most fruit growers, where they spray and they fertilize and they have tractors running around all the time. No, they're sending their money to town for their inputs of chemicals and fertilizers and parts and labor. All this to produce a commodity where you take the price that is given to you? No, don't be a price taker. You need to be a price maker. Grow something that you and your family will love. And then you can set up a membership club to have people come, join as members, and you pick. If you're thinking, I don't know if a you pick would work here. Well, anywhere a fast food outlet is in your closest town, chances are it will work. The fast food places have done the market research. They know that there is enough people in that area to support a fast food outlet. So for sure, they'll be able to support a membership you pick. Grafting material, propagation material. There's 2 seasons. We're in late summer right now. Perfect time to be gathering bud sticks to sell to people who will graft, and each bud can be a new tree. Maybe you have a great tree that you go, this is a fantastic tree, and people collect fruit trees like they collect all kinds of things, and they just want that one. Usually they sell $5 to $7 for a bud stick. How many can you get from one tree? A lot. If it's late winter, when you're pruning, well, your bud stick looks a little different. It becomes scion wood, and you can gather them, package them, sell them, same idea, same price range, but you're mailing dormant wood, easier to mail because these are not as perishable. Isn't that a way to get money to grow on your trees? Here's a few things to realize about fruit trees. It takes a while before the tree produces a full commercial crop. For most fruit trees, depending on the species, it's anywhere between 3 and 8 years after planting that you'll get your first commercial full harvest. Most trees will have a light crop in the first time they produce, and 3 years later, they will produce their first full crop. And then they'll last anywhere from 30 to 150 years after it. So trees can be around for a long time. So you're investing time and money into the tree before they give you a return. You will need to be patient. That's why I show you how to grow a diversity of crops, not just one, in order to start getting cash flow as soon as the first year that you plant. If you want to find out more about making money with fruit, check out our marketing course at permaculture.study and start today for free. Fruit trees are not like annual vegetables where you plant the seed in the spring and you come back harvest in the summer or fall. No, whatever you did well this year will be rewarded next year. Fruit have a 1-year delay on the work you do. If you have a big crop, and you do no thinning and you don't reduce the crop load, then chances are they won't be a big crop, or maybe a very low crop or no crop. We had an example in 2012 where we were expecting our first big crop year, and we had a killing frost in May that killed all the flowers, so we had no fruit. Well, that set up a pattern that the next year we had a bumper crop. The year after that was a much smaller crop. And we've been alternating every 2 years since then. So you can have that variation of effect. It's great on the big year where the trees are just loaded, not so great on the alternate year. Just a tip, if you're expecting a big year, that's a good year to be pruning your trees heavier. If you're not expecting a big crop, it's not a good year to be doing a lot of pruning. Speaking of pruning, when you're pruning, you're removing branches. Maybe you could get some value out of these branches. What else could you do? How about if you chip them up into chips to use for smoking in a barbecue? You've heard of hickory smoked? Well, how about apple smoked? And it exists. You chip up your apple branches, and why not have a collection of other fruit trees as well? So get some dollars out of these branches that you're removing anyway. How else can you profit from your prunings? Cut up your prunings, cut up your branches, put them in a bag, take them to a pet store, and pet stores sell treats for rodents. Win-win. You profit from your prunings, the pet store profits, and the pet owner profits by getting happy pets. I've been talking about fruit trees. And you say, I don't want fruit trees and I don't have a fruit tree, so does it apply to me? Yes, you can have fruit because you can transform an existing tree, even just a shade tree, into a fruiting tree. How? By growing vines, in this case kiwi vines or grapes, up your tree. You say, that's gonna give me some fruit. Yes, and it will use your existing tree as a support. So you don't have to plant fruit trees to get fruit. Most farmers get on a treadmill of inputs, and that's due to monoculture agriculture. If you want to get off the treadmill, you will need to adopt a polyculture design, embracing diversity. Maybe you have a compost pile and you say, well, I'm making all this compost but don't really have any place to use it. Get yourself some fruit trees. Now you'll have a great place to put that compost around your fruit trees in a way that's most profitable. Maybe you just want to replace most of your purchased fruit. And that's where it gets really interesting, because the fruit you grow at home can be far more valuable than you expect, because people always underestimate after-tax dollars. If you earn $20, you may only bring back $15 or even $10, depending on your tax bracket. So if you are replacing $10 of fruit with your own fruit, that fruit isn't worth $10, it's worth $15 or $20. Let me give you an example with this plum tree. Now, once it's fully producing and you could get 30 pounds of fruit from this one tree, multiply it by the cost in your grocery store. For us, it's $3 to $4 a pound for plums. So 30 pounds times 4, that's $120 of after-tax dollars. Well, if you planted that tree, yes, there's a cost, yes, there's a time, but it could quickly pay for itself when it's in full production. The same goes for any fruit. Think of it in terms of how much you can get out of it and how much it would cost to buy that fruit, and then figure in after-tax dollars. So realize money does grow on trees.